Hi everyone, this is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharp. I am live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments so that I may answer your questions. So let me formally introduce myself. I am U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharp, and I help clients to get their green card and status in the United States. And I also come on here every night at 9 p.m. to answer your U.S. immigration related questions. So go ahead and start putting your questions, your immigration related questions, in the comments, and then I am going to answer your questions. So I usually come with topics to talk about as well. And tonight I'm going to talk about consular processing. So that is a process that I do like to talk about. And so I am also going to be talking about that process. I'm also going to be giving you a little immigration update regarding a change that I think everyone will be curious about. But the most important thing I want you to do is go ahead and put your questions in the comments so that I may answer your questions, because that is why I'm here. I am here to answer your U.S. immigration related questions. So put those questions in the comments. All right, so I see here. Can your uncle file for you? And if yes, how long would that take? So your uncle would not be able to file for you. What happens is there may be a indirect way to obtain permanent residence through your uncle, and that is going to be if your uncle filed for their sibling. Your uncle has to be a U.S. citizen, and they filed for your sibling. And you, if you're under 21 and unmarried, you can go along with the sibling as their child. But that's an indirect way. As for filing, you cannot do it directly. How much time to take USCIS to approve the I-360 as religious worker at California Service Center? So I have an even better way. Mohammed, you can go to uscis.gov. You can go to case processing time. Scroll down on the homepage of uscis.gov. Scroll down and you'll see case processing times. You can search the processing times for the I-360 at the California Service Center, and that's going to give you a more accurate idea of the range of time that they're taking to process these types of applications. Go ahead. These are great questions so far. Keep putting those questions in the comments because I am here to answer your U.S. immigration related questions. So go ahead and keep putting those questions in the comments. So as I said before, I am going to be talking about consular processing. Consular processing is a process where you sponsor your relative. So if you're the U.S. citizen or the legal permanent resident, you sponsor your relative who is outside of the United States, where they're going to attend the final interview for the immigrant visa at the embassy in their country. What are the different ways one can obtain citizenship? So they can obtain citizenship through a parent, so it's called derived citizenship. If one parent or both parents are citizens at the time of birth, or if your parent becomes a U.S. citizen while you are under 18 and you yourself are a permanent resident and within their custody, then that can also count as a way to become a U.S. citizen. Now, I want to also add that if you think you may be a citizen already, because yes, that does happen, where you could be a U.S. citizen and you don't even know it, or if you're thinking about applying for U.S. citizenship, give me a call, schedule a consultation. I help clients on their journey to citizenship. Can my fiance start to apply for a fiance visa while I'm here on vacation? So, Maria, that could be a possibility. However, keep in mind that you will not be able to stay in the United States and complete the fiancé visa process in the United States. Now, one thing, Maria, I want to let you know is that the information I'm providing is general information. It's not personal legal advice. So if you really would like to figure out whether you qualify and you want to figure out all the options in regards to your fiancé visa, definitely schedule a consultation and we can talk. So let's see. I'm from Phoenix. I started in February and we already have our interview next month. Is that a red flag? So not necessarily. What I like to say though is that you need to go into that interview prepared. If your relationship is bona fide, it's real, I'm taking it that it is, then just go in, make sure you carry all your evidence, make sure that you both touch base with each other, that you go over basic facts in your relationship. How did you meet? What's your anniversary? Your in-laws, family members. When did you last celebrate your anniversary? These are questions that may come up, and routine questions. Who gets up first in the morning? Who makes breakfast? Who goes to work early? Or what time does your spouse go to work? Who sleeps on what side of the bed? Just be sure that you are prepared for the interview. So keep your questions coming. I listen. There are 14 categories for I-360, and each category is different. Time to approve are they that. So if they just keep it at the I-360, then you'll probably just have to work with that. Bernicia, thanks for sharing the live. Yes, our marriage is real. We just shocked it came so soon. That's why we're worried. So don't be worried. Just be prepared. I know it's nerve-wracking, especially seeing that this is your future. But just make sure that you prepare, that you both talk, you both bring your evidence, you both make sure you read the notices carefully to see what you need to take with you. So keep putting those questions in the comments. These are good questions so far. So what if who qualifies for permanent residence through consular processing? So and thanks so much, Bernicia21, for the rose. So who qualifies, first of all, to apply for permanent residence through consular processing? So in order to get permanent residence, so first you start with getting the immigrant visa at the embassy, and then when you land in the United States and your case is processed, you will get permanent residence. And it's going through family. This can be done if an employer is applying for you. It can also be done if a family member is applying for you. So family members are going to be a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, a parent, or a citizen's son or daughter who's 21 and up, or a sibling, a U.S. citizen sibling who's 21 and up. So now when it comes on to the U.S. Citizen or legal permanent resident parent, there are different categories. So the first is, are you the immediate relative of a U.S. citizen? That means, are you the spouse of a U.S. citizen, the parent of a U.S. citizen who's 21 and up, or the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen who is under 21 and unmarried? Now, if you don't fall within that category, then you're going to fall into a different category. Are you over 21? Are you over 21 and is unmarried, and is your parent a U.S. citizen? If that's the case, that process is going to take much longer. Unfortunately, right now it's taking 6 to 7 years. If you have a green card holder spouse, or you are the child of a green card holder, meaning you're under 21 and unmarried, then you have a shorter time right now. Right now, they have cleared the backlog, and there's no immigrant visa number available. I mean, there are visa numbers available, and so that's why there's no wait list for spouses of green card holders and children under 21 and unmarried. Now, if you are over 21 and unmarried, your green card holder's parent can file for you, but it's going to be about 5 to 6 years. And keep in mind, as more people apply, it could change. Then, are you the married son or daughter of a U.S. citizen? That process is taking 12 years. Now, the good thing with most of these categories, except for the priority category, which is immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, is that you get to, as the immigrant, you get to carry along your spouse and your children. So, for example, if you're a green card, if you're a U.S. citizen, parent is applying for you, you're over 21, you're unmarried, but say you have kids. So you're unmarried, but you have kids, you can bring your kids with you. For the married son or daughter of a U.S. citizen, you can bring your spouse, you can bring your kids. If your U.S. citizen sibling is filing for you, you can bring your spouse and you can bring your kids. The downside is that the processing time does take a while. Bernicia, once again, thanks so much for that, Rose. So can a nephew be considered a close relative? So under immigration law, it's very specific. And so you wouldn't be able to apply for a nephew to get their permanent residence. So when I say immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, it's not about who is a close relative. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens under immigration law is going to be the spouse of a U.S. citizen, the parent of a U.S. citizen and that U.S. citizen has to be 21 and up, or the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen who is under 21 and unmarried. So those are the only immediate relatives, and those are the only people that would qualify in the priority category to get their permanent residence. And they could also apply to stay in the United States and apply for permanent residence, even if they're out of status, as in they overstayed their visa. With the other categories, you're either going to have to be the spouse of a green card holder, the child of a green card holder, or you have to be the child of a U.S. citizen who is 21 and over, unmarried, or the married son or daughter of a U.S. citizen, or the sibling of a U.S. So you have a U.S. citizen sibling. Those are the only categories where you can apply for permanent residence through family. So keep your questions coming. So far, these are all great questions. And you also helped me to knock out one of the topics that I wanted to talk about. And that is who qualifies to get the permanent residence through consular processing. So all those categories that I listed, they qualify to apply through consular processing. And once again, consular processing is where you're going to attend the interview at the embassy in your home country. So you're going to apply, wait outside of the country, the U.S., apply, and then attend your interview at the U.S. embassy. Now, the times vary, as I said before. When you're the immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, you're looking at maybe 18 months on average. However, when you are not within that category as an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, you fall within other categories, they take longer. So they're taking about, as the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen who is over 21 and unmarried, 6 to 7 years. Over 21, son or daughter of a green card holder and unmarried, very important here because green card holders can't file for their married children. That one is taking 5 to 6 years. The son or daughter married of a U.S. citizen. So U.S. citizens are the only people that can apply for their married son or daughter. That's taking 12 years. And U.S. citizen siblings who are filing for their siblings. So U.S. citizens who are filing for their siblings, it's taking 14 years at minimum. It's in Mexico, it's upwards of 20 years. And so the processing, when you're going to get to the interview, is really going to depend on the category you're in. The reason for this long wait time is because you're waiting for an immigrant visa number to become available. And the immediate relatives of US citizens are the only category that they don't have to wait for an immigrant visa number. So I am going to continue with my topic, but I want to stop for a minute to let you know that I am here to answer your immigration related questions. So doesn't matter that your question is not related to the topic I'm talking about today. You are welcome to put any immigration related questions in the comments while I'm here. So go ahead and put those questions in the comments. So now once you get past whether or not you qualify for permanent residence, then let's talk about what process you're looking at. What does this process look like? So the first is that your employer or your family member, they're going to file the relevant and required forms. So it's called a petition. When they submit this petition, the USCIS is going to give you a decision. So they're going to decide whether you do qualify based on the family relationship or the employer-employee relationship. Okay, so Gorgeous Jen Charles. At what age can a child file for stay for their parents? So great question. Now, unfortunately, having a child in the United States is not enough to get you automatic status in the United States. Your child has to be 21 or up to be able to apply for you to be into the United States. Or even if you have a child who's over 21 or over, but they're mistreating you, you could apply on your own through VAWA. So those are two ways that you could apply through your child. Whether it's VAWA if you're being mistreated by that child who's 21 or up, or that child could actually file the paperwork for you. So keep those questions coming. I also want to let you know that if you are here now, you're listening, and you want to schedule a consultation, you can go to the link in my bio, go to the website where you'll see the phone number, you will see the contact form, you'll see the online chat. You can get through to a scheduling coordinator through any one of those ways. The scheduling coordinator is available up until 11 p.m. to take your call and schedule the consultation. How long does it take for a child to file for stay for their parents? So it's taking about 18 months if the child qualifies. Now keep in mind the child has to be a U.S. citizen. They have to be 21 and up. And it really depends on how if the parent is in, the kind of process is going to depend on whether the parent is here, whether they enter the country with their visa, even though it expired and they're out of status, or they're in the foreign country. That if they're in the foreign country and they have to complete the interview at the embassy, that's going to be called the consular processing, which I'm explaining right now. Great question so far. Now I am going to be here until 9:30, and then I'm heading over to Instagram. So if you want to continue this conversation, I'm still here. So feel free to keep putting those questions in the comments. But if you want to continue this conversation, we can by heading over to Instagram, following me on Instagram, and then hopping on my live. Now, in order to get to the Instagram page, you can go to Instagram and search for The Immigration Attorney, or you can go to the link in my bio, and if you click the Instagram button, it should take you directly to my Instagram page where you can watch out for me to go live and join in again. My father's a U.S. citizen and he filed for me. When the papers are done, who do they call first? So it depends, Gary Keith, it really depends on what process you're going through. So if you are going, you're welcome, Gorgeous Jen Charles. So if you are outside of the United States, Gary Keith 41, and it depends on, are you under 21 and unmarried? Are you over 21 or over and unmarried, or are you married? So the length of time it's going to take is going to really depend on those factors. However, when they do approve, so they will approve the petition, they will send a notice to your father by mail. And then they will transfer that I-130 to the National Visa Center. And when they're ready to process your case, they usually send an email to the email on file, which is usually the petitioner, instructing them how to log in. And the petitioner has to pay the invoice, so they have to pay an invoice for the affidavit of support, as well as the immigrant visa application fee, which adds up to about $445. Once they do that, then the petitioner can start uploading documents, and the petitioner can share the login with the beneficiary if they need to upload documents as well. So Wally the King 03, I'm located in Boca Raton, Florida. However, I am not limited by borders. I represent clients all over the country and the world. As long as you have a U.S. immigration issue, I can represent you. The first thing though I require is a scheduled consultation so I can talk about your issue and determine whether I can represent you. And then I also provide you legal advice. So I talk about your options. I talk about how to approach your situation. I tell you maybe other options that you may have. And so it is a value-packed consultation. Alicia Ambitious, thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. So I'm going to head over to Instagram now. It's $150, Wally the King. And as I said before, there are many benefits to this. It is good to first get informed about your situation, empower yourself with that information, and then you can also walk out with me as your attorney should you need it. Now I'm going to head over to Instagram. So you can continue to ask your questions on Instagram right now. Do that. I'm the immigration attorney on Instagram. You can also go to the link in my bio. It will take you to the website. Where it will take you to the Instagram button. So click that Instagram button, it'll take you to Instagram. If you cannot join me on live on Instagram to continue this conversation, we can continue this tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'm here every night at 9 p.m. Eastern time to take your questions and to give you very good information. I also wanted to let you know that right now, there is I had announced that the COVID vaccine is now mandatory in the medical examination. So along with other vaccinations, they are going to now check to see if you've gotten the COVID vaccine. And so there are some exceptions. So if the physician deems that it's inappropriate for you to get it, or if it's not widely available in your area, or if you have a religion that prohibits you from getting vaccines, these could be, could be exceptions. However, I encourage you to get the vaccine. It is important for you to get the vaccine. It saves lives, so I urge you to get it. If you have any questions, follow-up questions, you can always come on live with me tomorrow to ask those questions, or join me on Instagram right now. I'm going to be over there in a minute. So thanks everyone for joining. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.